Hello everybody, I have decided to make a video, so welcome to my first video. I am sitting here at Temperance River State Park up on the North Shore. I've been running around the North Shore here now for a couple days. I have had some success getting some images. Finally got the drone up today, so that's cool. But just thought I would make a video here and share with you my adventures on the North Shore. I'm not sure if you can hear me with the waves and the wind, but we'll see how this goes. I have no idea what I'm doing, making videos, so bear with me, I guess. Next will be the editing and everything else that goes along with it. But as you can see, I'm in a beautiful place here. You basically are looking out at the North Shore of Lake Superior, headed looking towards the north. And here at Temperance River, this is one of my favorite state parks in the state so far that I've visited. It's a pretty great place. And for those that follow the page, if you recall the smoky, foggy looking scene with rocks, this is where that all transpired. It's actually right behind the camera. Today, the waves are pretty calm, so I won't be getting any images like that. This is actually my first day on the North Shore where it's a full sunny day, and we'll see how we can work with that. We've got some harsh shadows and highlights, obviously. It's pretty hard to shoot in the midday sun, so now we'll find a shady spot and see what we can pull off there. Other than that, I'll be recording some B-roll hopefully, and be able to string together and stitch together a video for you. We'll see how that goes. But at any rate, here I am, and thanks for joining me. So, as previously stated, I did get the drone up today, and that was pretty fun. I got some aerial photos of Highway 61 from a wayside rest. Unfortunately, they don't let you fly drones at state parks. So we won't have any drone footage anywhere but wayside rests and some other areas. We've secured some images today, which is good. Averaging about one an hour. We started out in Duluth. We did some night shoots at the Duluth Lift Bridge, and then we drove up here and we camped south of Palisade at Gooseberry Falls. I did not do any photography at Gooseberry Falls. I woke up in the morning and climbed up on Palisade Head, got a few nice shots up there, a little bit of foliage and some cliffs, and it was pretty cool. But then we moved along to Beaver Bay, Chattahoochee, and then I meandered up to Grand Marais, which is where basically home base has been for the last couple days. Yesterday was cloudy, some pretty dark clouds too. We ventured up on the Gunflint Trail. I finally made it to the end of that. That was pretty cool back in there. That is where the Boundary Waters begins, at least from this side. And I think there's about 8 or 9 access points there. On my way back from Trail's End, I got out to shoot a little waterfall with some fall foliage colors in the background, and basically got back in the truck, and a bull moose jumped out in front of the truck and ran into the woods. Unfortunately, I could not get a shot of that. Yeah, that's a bummer, but what do you do? So then we set up camp last night. It was 32 degrees out, and there's actually frost this morning away from the shore. So woke up this morning, it's pretty cold, and got in the truck and did some sunrise photos of Artist Point right there in Grand Marais. Then I had scouted a spot the days prior, about 15 miles up the Gunflint. Full sun this morning, so I thought maybe we'd get some real bold colors on a pond, but by the time I got there, clouds had rolled in. But it was pretty cool. There was a haze over the pond, and made for a pretty cool image. But then I veered off on a back road and drove through some of what I like to call God's country, and ended up here. We did fly the drone, like I said, this morning after lots of technical difficulty. I forgot to charge the controller, charge the batteries, but I didn't charge the controller. Then I had to update the firmware, which without internet, that's pretty tough. So we did finally get it up in the air today. Got 2 images on that, so I think you'll enjoy those, and I'll include those footnotes in the video here. But like I said, currently we're at Temperance River State Park. Full sun, hard to get a good shot today, but we'll see how it goes. So, I don't know if you can hear me, see me, or not, but I should really use the app for the GoPro. But some of the footage is being filmed on my DSLR and some on a GoPro. Obviously, if you've seen me using the camera already while recording video, that's how I'm doing it, is on this GoPro. GoPros are famous for wind noise, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, this is the site of one of my favorite images that I've produced to this date. Basically, I stood right behind this rock I'm sitting on, and we shot that way. And we had good wave activity coming in here, so I was able to do a long exposure. After that long exposure, basically what popped up on the back of my camera was pretty neat looking, in my opinion. I wish it would have been a little less windy, because we got a little bit of motion blur in the tree tips on that image, but overall I like it. I was able to duplicate an image like that up at Chattahoochee, or actually, yeah, anyway. So basically this was the image. As you can see, there's no activity in here today. So my hopes in duplicating that image are fading fast. It is Saturday, perhaps tomorrow, but it is supposed to rain tomorrow, so not sure I'll make it down in here or not, but we will see. So I just thought you guys would like to see basically where that image was created, and I will add that to the video as well. But some tips that I had while I shot that was, basically I'm using an ND filter on the lens, which cuts down the light. I was using a 10-stop ND, and basically stopped down the light. It was overcast that day, and I was able to close down the aperture to about f13 and do about if I remember right, about a 20-second exposure. Now when you do that and all these waves are come crashing in here, it's a mixture of kind of bluish gray water and some white foam, you know, as waves are. And basically when that white foam blurs, it makes almost a smoky atmosphere through here. So decided to give you some tips on that and how I did that, and hope you enjoyed the image as much as I did. Interesting fact, there's a bumper crop of mountain ash berries here this year. I believe it's due to all the rain. Right in here somewhere. So basically with the harsh sunlight today, no clouds as you can see in the sky, photography is going to be a real challenge. So as I struggle in the bright harsh sunlight here at Temperance River State Park, I'm going to practice my video skills. And basically we're just going to make a bunch of clips, stitch them together, see if we can make sense out of the whole thing. Like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing. So wish me luck. What you have behind me is the mouth of the Temperance River. Basically it comes down a series of falls, flows out into the Lake Superior right below us here. So there are a couple people fishing down here and other tourists roaming around the cliffs and the rocks and across the bridges and whatnot. But my understanding, there's trout in here and maybe salmon certain times of year. So you do need a special license to fish in Lake Superior. You need a trout stamp, I believe it's called. But there's a young couple down here fishing right now. I haven't seen them catch anything yet, but we'll see. If you ever get the chance to visit the North Shore, I highly suggest it. One thing to be aware of, stairs. Lots and lots of stairs. What do you know? More stairs. Well, I was just about to show you a shot with leading lines, and about 15 people just walked out here, so here, I'll show you. So last night, big rumor was the northern lights were going to be out. The KPI index was pretty strong, so some photographers had some success doing it. They weren't up on the North Shore where I am, but I have seen some photos. They didn't look great, but tonight it's supposed to be a high KP index again. Good news is I was able to practice some Milky Way shots, which I'm not very good at, to be honest with you. So I don't know how the northern lights are going to go either. Astrophotography is a little challenging, particularly if you haven't scouted your spot yet. So part of the goal today is to scout a spot for northern lights. And what you can see here is there's some nice leading lines that lead off to the north. You know, you can imagine northern lights set up back here in the background, up in the sky, and we can expose and do some light painting on these rocks to get them to pop in the image. And then out here, we just get some nice bright green lights and some pillars of light, and that'd be fantastic. We'll see. So sometimes in photography, and now video, I guess, but you get scrambling around trying to find images and compositions, but sometimes you just gotta sit there and take it all in and enjoy being in the environment that you put yourself in. You see, photography for me is a way to relieve stress. And if you spend too much time trying to find compositions and getting all the technical things right, working on your fundamentals, you're kind of missing the boat. Like I said, take time, enjoy your surroundings, and just breathe, I guess. So here's kind of my surroundings. I go around the camera there. So this is kind of what we're sitting here doing. We're just looking, and then we'll go this way. Quite the place. You guys getting dizzy yet? I should probably get a gimbal. I'd make some good leading lines for Northern Lights, don't you think? One thing, if you're out in the wilderness, be careful and watch your footing. Not that I'm out in the wilderness, of course, I'm in a state park, but public service announcement. So after my dead end, I decided, well, let's strip down and we'll just swim across. So we jump off there quick, swim down, or had to climb up this here. Had to climb up that to get here. So I got a little warm, so I had to take my long johns off from this morning. So I'm just kidding. Thing about platforms. So you get an excellent vantage point here for photography. However, and maybe this is a bad example, but however, every photo you've ever seen from this platform, hundreds of people have taken photos like that. So the trick is to find a different composition than just up on a platform, which in some state parks can be a challenge when you're not supposed to leave the path due to rare plants and things and dangerous cliffs and, you know, the usual. But at any rate, it was a nice swim. Be careful not to lose your car keys. That would be an issue. So stopped at a store, grabbed a sandwich, back out shooting again. Good news is there's some fluffy clouds that rolled in. That should help with the composition. Down here at Father Baraga's Cross, it's got a rocky shoreline, and the cross is right in here somewhere. And there's a bunch of people roaming around, and we're just going to hang out here and see if we can come up with a composition. Well, good evening from Artist Point in Grand Marais, Minnesota. It's not looking good for northern lights tonight. As you can see, the clouds are rolling in over here, and that's not good. So Milky Way and Astro is all probably out of the question tonight, but oh well. Live to photograph another day, I guess.